Right, this is a video of the little Suzuki SJ 413 Samurai I've got for sale on eBay. It's an absolutely mega little car. It's unashamedly amazing at being off-road, and I'll show you why in a second. I'll just run you through a few features here. Attachment approved alarm system, towed alarm system, unlocks here, and then you've got a fighter pilot style ignition switch there. Turn that on and all the lights come on the dash. Pull the choke out just a little bit because we want it to start. It is cold. There we are, start straight up. We'll leave that warm up actually just for a bit. Alright, I'll show you how the winch works first. That's the winch, I've actually, there we are, I turn that off and you turn it on, so that actually manually undoes the winch. You can not have it connected electrically all the time. That's a £12,000 front winch and it's controlled from this cable here. Let's look. That is working absolutely fine. I recently had this pull me up a near vertical slope not so long since. It's also got a little, a much smaller rear winch. This is connected from a cable around the back just down here. There's an electrical connection for it. I've only ever used that once or twice, but it does work well. It's a bit of a save me more than an impress my friends kind of thing. The canvas is complete, doesn't have any rips or tears. I'll show you around. And you'll see up on top as well, there's no rips or tears in it at all. Tyres are mud terrain, really good thick tyres. Kind of go anywhere, do anything. I've taken these through all sorts, you know, up mountains, up rocky trails, through really thick mud. They've never let me down. Yeah, I'll just turn that down just a little bit. So it's just loud as hell. Right, now I'll just quickly show you under the bonnet. The winches are not just powered off of the car battery. That's the winch battery, and that's the car battery, and then they're controlled by this. Now the alternator down here is an upgraded alternator. There's also an SU carb conversion on it as well. There's air horns down there and all sorts of other bits and pieces. It's a bit noisy for me. Now the batteries are separated so that when you use the winch for an extended period of time you don't boil the batteries. That solenoid system separates the power from one battery to the other. It's very clever. As I said, I towed my car up a near vertical hill not so long ago and it was absolutely unbelievable. It went on for several minutes. The winch didn't overheat, the batteries didn't boil. It was brilliant. It was everything I wanted and more. It impressed everybody. We were amazed at how good it was. The snorkel works wonderfully. As you can see, there's quite a bit of mud in the car. That's because I put it in a river pretty much up to this level, so up to the steering wheel not so long ago. The snorkel worked wonderfully. No water got into the electrics or anything. I bought all new HT leads for it only a couple of weeks ago and sealed them off really well. That's all worked wonderfully. And I'll just pull the choke out just a bit. There we go. Just engine's just a bit cold, that's all. Right, I'll show you underneath the car. There is, hang on a sec, underneath here you will see that's the rock lobster gearbox under there, and as you will see the suspension, the actual springs, it's got some really fancy shock absorbers and some steering dampers. That is not the normal, I mean a lot of people on Suzuki SJs, they fix the axle underneath the springs, which ultimately breaks the springs. That's not been happened here. These shocks have been these shocks and these springs are professional off-road springs. As you can see, they have huge scissors here, which allows the wheels to articulate much better over ground. It's really, really clever stuff. It works really well. The other thing as well is the axle breathers run up and actually go quite up high on the car. All these things have been thought of so that the car actually really can go underwater, really quite deep water, even though it's a petrol. One sec. Right, there we go. I'll just turn the lights on for you. It's got some fancy side lights. There we go, that's how bright it is, even in the daytime. Believe me when I say at night, it's absolutely unbelievably bright, how much light that gives off. And I'll just show you the side lights as well. They have little kind of rings around them. It's all very fancy stuff. Looks really good. Full external and internal rollover cage, right. One sec. That's a bit better. Right, yeah, Cobra bucket seats, they're really good with their proper 4-point harnesses. There are some seats in the back if ever you want to throw your kids or your dog in the back there, or if the wife, if she's not very popular at that time. You switch all the ancillaries on from here. That turns on loads of different things. There's a CB radio, there's a snooper device which gives you an accurate speed because of course the tyres are slightly different from standard, so your speedo's not going to be reading correctly anyway. And the radio works fine, I'll show you that now. There we are. I think you got the point with that. CB radio up here, all that works. You can go channel scans and all sorts of stuff. There we go, hang on. Hello. There it all is. I don't know how much of that you can see. It all works though. The CB radio does work. We have actually spoken to someone on it once, although you did sound a little bit like a sad trucker just trying to make conversation with people, but there we go. Now this little device here, that is the solenoid that works the 2 batteries. It charges only 1 battery at a time. Now that stops the batteries from cooking themselves, or the alternator from overheating trying to charge 2 batteries. Now, because I've been running the engine for a while, it's saying 12 volts, but earlier it would have been saying 13, 14, 15 volts when it was actually needing to charge the batteries, but now the batteries are charged, everything's fine. That changes according to when I use the winch. So the winch battery is the top one, and that's what uses you'll see a voltage displayed on the top one then when the winch battery is used and under a lot of load. The fan works in the car fine, that's all important, and all these fancy switches here all do different things. I think this one, yeah, there we are, does the interior light, and this one does some front fog lights which are at the top of the car up here. You'd see those in the night, but it's not night time so you can't really see them at the minute. I'll just manually, that's me manually turning off the front winch, and then there's the manual turn on for the rear winch here as well, which is obviously quite a bit less. There's also some useful stuff with the car. It's got quite a bit of tax and MOT. It's a good working car. It's also got things like these, just the locking wheel nuts. They're just really useful if ever you did get a puncture. It's just good just to be able to have them. There's some spare wheel nuts in there as well. Anything else I need to show? Oh yeah, it's got a mobile phone holder, and there is this little thing which can connect your mobile phone via Bluetooth to the radio. Oh, it's just cut out. I need the Bluetooth. Come on, sir. There we go. Right, I'll take it for a little drive and I'll just show you what it's all about. But I do warn you that it doesn't drive like a modern car. It is a little bit lumpy, a little bit bumpy, but it is really good fun. There we go. You can see the snooper's working now as well. It's actually giving me a readout for my speed. Trying to drive this thing one-handed is a little bit interesting, to be honest, but there we go. I've just fitted a new starter motor to it as well. There was nothing actually that wrong with the old one, but well, it started to sound a little bit slow. I wasn't sure what was going on there, so I fitted a Bosch starter motor to it, and that works absolutely wonderfully. So I'd rather fit a good one that lasts a long time than a rubbish one that lasts a year or whatever. Might be that sun's bright. Much here. Can't really turn it off as I've only got one hand to drive with. Yeah, that's third gear. It pulls absolutely fine. Drives alright. It's quite noisy to drive because there's no carpets in it or whatever. You get a bit of road noise off. I noticed there's a hole in the floor as well where like water's been allowed to drain out with the previous user. I think that was actually there's just like a plastic clip that's supposed to go over a hole in the floor, and they've taken it out to allow the water to come out, but I mean, it works well, so whatever. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you how the thing drives. Thanks very much, and thanks for watching.